Welcome back to LiveWired. In this advanced tutorial, I'll show you how to get the most out of the Behringer LM Drum in a full multi-channel studio setup. We'll go step by step through what gear you need, how to connect the LM Drum to a multi-channel audio interface, how to expand your setup with ADAT, and how to route and mix all channels in your DAW. I'll also show you how to create buses for parallel compression, effect channels like reverb and delay, and even how to use the LM Drum stereo out as a parallel mix bus for more sonic flexibility. Let's dive straight in. First, let's look at the gear we need. In this setup, I'm using the RME UCX2 as my main interface and a Focusrite Octapre MK2 as an ADAT preamp to expand the available inputs. You can use any multi-channel interface that supports ADAT, but check your interface and preamp manuals to confirm channel counts and connection settings. Let's start with what you need for this setup. The Behringer LM Drum, of course, a multi-channel audio interface with at least 8 line inputs, an ADAT preamp or audio expander if you want more channels, and a few essential cables to make everything work. For the LM Drum individual outputs, you'll need TS patch cables. No need for TRS. The LM Drum uses mini TS jacks, so you'll either need mini TS to regular TS cables or, like I'm using here, mini TS to TS adapters with regular instrument cables. You'll also need an optical ADAT cable to connect your interface and preamp, and finally 2 standard instrument cables for the LM Drum main stereo outputs, which you'll later use as a parallel mix bus for extra punch. And as always, the Minion Batman is optional but highly recommended. Once you've got everything ready, we'll connect the LM Drum's outputs, hook up the ADAT line and start routing everything into the DAW. Now, in my setup, I'm also using a patch bay, mainly for convenience. This is completely optional, you don't need one for this setup, but it makes life a lot easier when you're constantly switching or rerouting gear. If you don't have a patch bay, just connect the LM Drum directly to your interface inputs. It'll work exactly the same, just a bit less flexible when reconfiguring your studio. So let's go ahead and connect our cables one by one. The single instrument inputs are located at the back of the device. Let's start from the kick drum. Let's connect our adapter here. And then I'll connect the kick drum to the first input on my RME UCX. And we're gonna need a lot of cables. So let's go on. Next, plastic. 3. Eyes. 4. Now, the high jump goes into the other piece. Alright, we are not using the click output. And the stereo outputs we will connect later on. Now that the LM Drum is hooked up to our audio interface and preamps, let's go into the DAW and route all signals correctly. The DAW of my choice is Cubase, but the same routing can be applied in any major DAW. First, we want to make sure that the Behringer LM Drum is in sync with Cubase. We head to Transport menu, activate the external sync, go to Transport menu again, click the project and sync settings, go to the tab Targets, select the LM Drum as target and also as MIDI timecode target, and hit OK. You should also make sure that the sync on the LM Drum is set to USB. To check that, push sync and rotate the data control knob to USB and hit enter. If we now hit play in Cubase, the LM Drum will start playing along. And it will stop when we hit stop as well. So back to LM Drum. To dial in every single channel correctly, we first have to make a pattern where every instrument is actually get played. Song, select song 4, and pattern 14 if it's empty, or just any other empty pattern, and then go to step, select your instruments, hit record, go to snare, dial in some steps here, side stick, hi-hat, double click for open hi-hat, toms, ride, crash, capacitor, tambourine, conga, low conga, cowbell, claps. Now if you hit play, we'll hit every single channel on our audio interface and the preamps. Alright, now that we connected everything, let's make sure that all of our gain knobs are set to 0. This is because we are driving line level only. Now don't be afraid that the signal is too weak. If we take a look at the meters of the incoming signal on the RME, and we see that everything is perfectly fine. And also the DAW MixFX software shows healthy levels. You can totally work with it. If you add gain, you might introduce some unwanted noise. Now that our hardware levels are set up, let's proceed with internal audio routing. Let's check our audio connections. By default, I have a stereo pair of inputs here, but what I need is all channels in mono. So I just hit 20 mono. We can now see the channels in the mixer. Note that when using the single instrument outputs, the mixer settings, filter settings, or the master volume settings, or panning do not affect the signal. So the whole right side of the LM drum, besides the tuning buttons, doesn't affect our signal flow. Now let's locate and name our channels according to our sounds. Hit the pads button and let's start with the bass. We can see signal coming in on the channel 1, so let's rename it accordingly. Now hit the snare. The snare is on the channel 2, side stick. First let's check our audio connections. And that should be it. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 channels. Now we can simply hide the unused channels. Let's close the mixer for now and create 15 audio tracks. Make them all mono. And now let's route and rename our channels accordingly. And by the way, I will attach and last but not least, cowbell. Let's turn on the monitor on every channel. Alright, now we got every single channel routed into our audio interface and preamps, and also configured and labeled in Cubase accordingly. Now let's add some buses and affix channels, also do some panning and volume adjustments to gain more control over the overall sound. Let's create a few groups first. They should be stereo. Now the last group we will call mix bus, and we will route all the signals to there. I also want a group for our toms, for the congas, and also for our cymbals. And of course let's create one more group called drums, because we might use other instruments in the project as well. Now let's open the mixer, activate queuing, and route our groups to drums, and the drum group we want to route to the mix bus. Now let's route kick, snare, and side stick to the drums. Now let us reiterate. We connected all of the physical outputs of the LM drum to our audio interface and to our external preamp. We made sure that all of our signal is on line level. We connected our audio inputs and named them accordingly, and we used the pads on the LM drum to make sure the correct instrument is assigned to a correct channel. After this, we created 15 mono audio tracks in Cubase and routed the inputs accordingly to the names of the input channels. Then we created some group tracks like toms, congas, cymbals, and also added an overall drum bus that in its turn is routed to the mix bus. Now let's select all of our audio tracks, select a pattern of our choice here, and just record it. Alright, let's take a listen. The signal is clean and loud enough. Now let us adjust volume and panning. Now let's slightly increase the tone volume. Now let's add a few effects tracks. I want to add one reverb, and also I want to add one compressor for parallel bus compression. And by the way, I'm using stock Steinberg plugins for this tutorial. Now let's send to the drum bus. First the compressor. Okay, we're overdoing this right now. Without. Now let's add the reverb. Let's increase the low cut so we don't get too much reverb on the bass drums. And the last thing I would want to talk about in this tutorial is how to use the stereo output for some additional parallel processing. Let us take some regular patch cables and connect them to the master out of the Behringer LM Drum, left and right accordingly. Now let's sacrifice the cowbell input, and now in Cubase let's add another stereo input in the audio connections. Add bus, LM Drum stereo out is the name, hit OK, and now let's assign the inputs to our inputs 7 and 8 on the RMU6. Create a stereo audio track with LM Drum stereo out as input, give it another color, and let's call it LM Drum master out. Why would we want to do that? Well, we could make use of the wave designer and the analog filter sections on the LM Drum like this. Let me show what I'm talking about. Activate the monitors. Now there's our stereo output. And we could play around with the wave designer here. We could add some sub bass here. Let's listen together. This is very loud, but we can decrease it. Or we just could apply it to the bass and snare only. And this is just one example of how you could use the wave designer and analog filter to add some coloration and density to your drum mix. Alright, that's our complete advanced setup for the Behringer LM Drum. We've connected all 15 individual outputs, expanded the interface with an ADAT preamp, synchronized everything, and routed all channels inside Cubase for full multi-track recording. We also made sure the gain staging is clean, the noise floor is low, and the sync is perfectly locked, so you get that punchy vintage LM Drum sound with modern studio flexibility. Now you can treat the LM Drum just like a real drum kit. Process each sound separately, build buses, add compression, reverb, delay, and even use the main stereo out as a parallel bus for extra punch. In the next video, I'll take this setup one step further and show how to recreate the authentic 70s and 80s studio chain, with both premium and free plugins, to get those classic Vangelis, Bowie, and early pop drum tones. If you find this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have a question about your own setup. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.